The reasonable man adapts himself to the world, the unreasonable one persists in trying to adapt the world to himself. Therefore all progress depends on the unreasonable man. People are always blaming their circumstances for what they are. I don't believe in circumstances. The people who get on in this world are the people who get up and look for the circumstances they want, and if they can't find them, make them. When two people are under the influence of the most violent, most insane, most delusive, and most transient of passions, they are required to swear that they will remain in that excited, abnormal, and exhausting condition continuously until death do them part. A Native American elder once described his own inner struggles in this manner: "Inside of me there are two dogs. One of the dogs is mean and evil. The other dog is good. The mean dog fights the good dog all the time." When asked which dog wins, he reflected for a moment and replied, "The one I feed the most." If you have an apple and I have an apple and we exchange these apples, then you and I will still each have one apple. But if you have an idea and I have an idea and we exchange these ideas, then each of us will have two ideas. The only man who behaved sensibly was my tailor. He took my measure anew every time he saw me, whilst all the rest went on with their old measurements and expected them to fit me. My religious convictions and scientific views cannot at present be more specifically defined than as those of a believer in creative evolution. I desire that no public monument or work of art or inscription or sermon or ritual service commemorating me shall suggest that I accepted the tenets peculiar to any established church or denomination, nor take the form of a cross or any other instrument of torture or symbol of blood sacrifice. The fact that a believer is happier than a skeptic is no more to the point than the fact that a drunken man is happier than a sober one. The happiness of credulity is a cheap and dangerous quality of happiness, and by no means a necessity of life. This is the true joy in life, the being used for a purpose recognized by yourself as a mighty one, the being thoroughly worn out before you are thrown on the scrap heap, the being a force of nature instead of a feverish selfish little clod of ailments and grievances complaining that the world will not devote itself to making you happy. I have very carefully studied Islam and the life of its prophet, Pbuh. I have done so both as a student of history and as a critic. And I have come to conclusion that Muhammad, Pbuh, was indeed a great man and a deliverer and benefactor of mankind, which was till then writhing under the most agonizing pain. All censorships exist to prevent anyone from challenging current conceptions and existing institutions. All progress is initiated by challenging current conceptions, and executed by supplanting existing institutions. Consequently, the first condition of progress is the removal of censorship. Your friends are all the dullest dogs I know. They are not beautiful, they are only decorated. They are not clean, they are only shaved and starched. They are not dignified, they are only fashionably dressed. They are not educated, they are only college pass men. They are not religious, they are only purenters. They are not moral, they are only conventional. They are not virtuous, they are only cowardly. They are not even vicious, they are only frail. They are not artistic, they are only lascivious. They are not prosperous, they are only rich. They are not loyal, they are only servile, not dutiful, only sheepish, not public-spirited, only patriotic, not courageous, only quarrelsome, not determined, only obstinate, not masterful, only domineering, not self-controlled, only obtuse, not self-respecting, only vain, not kind, only sentimental, not social, only gregarious, not considerate, only polite, not intelligent, only opinionated, not progressive, only factious, not imaginative, only superstitious, not just, only vindictive, not generous, only propitiatory, not disciplined, only cowed, and not truthful at all, liars every one of them, to the very backbone of their souls. When you loved me I gave you the whole sun and stars to play with. I gave you eternity in a single moment, strength of the mountains in one clasp of your arms, and the volume of all the seas in one impulse of your soul. We cut the throat of a calf and hang it up by the heels to bleed to death so that our veal cutlet may be white. We nail geese to a board and cram them with food because we like the taste of liver disease. We tear birds to pieces to decorate our women's hats. We mutilate domestic animals for no reason at all except to follow an instinctively cruel fashion. And we connive at the most abominable tortures in the hope of discovering some magical cure for our own diseases by them.